In 2014, in seminary, a group of us went to Israel and Palestine as part of a class and as part of our studies to learn about the area, to go and see the locations. And this pool that we have here in our second reading is where they believe this story took place. We actually went to go and see it. And like so many things now in Israel and Palestine, there's a large church built over top of it. But to get down to the pools, you're outside of the church, and you have to climb down a series of metal and stone steps to get down to the water's level, to the point where it's this dark, almost a cave. You really can't see the sky anymore. Now, during this time of Jesus, it may have been closer to the surface of the ground, but after centuries and millennia of erosion and construction, it is now deep below the earth. But I can imagine the story of a man who cannot walk, waiting at the top of those steps. No one will help carry him down into the troubled waters. Even if someone could carry him and help him, someone else would move right past and get into the waters themselves. But this man waited for years for his opportunity, waited for years to be healed in those troubled waters. 38 years. 38 years of being in the same spot, waiting for his chance. 38 years asking for help, asking for money, asking for food. 38 years of people passing him by. 38 years is longer than I have been alive. I personally cannot fathom that level of patience. I can't stand to wait at the doctor's office for more than 30 minutes. If I'm in line at the pharmacy or the bank or anything, I can't stand it. I have zero patience when it comes to those things. But this man waited for 38 years. It's a long time. So one can imagine Jesus and the disciples coming towards the pool. The man asking them to help him, but then knowing he's going to be rejected like he has been so many times before. Are you looking past him to see the next person who might be coming, who he can ask? But Jesus doesn't reply in the way that he expects. He asks him, well, do you want to be healed? Of course he does. He's been there for 38 years. He simply tells him to take up his mat and walk. He doesn't go down into the water and bring some up to him. He doesn't carry the man on his back down to the water. He goes around the whole setup and tells him to just start walking, if it were only that easy. But it is that easy. One can imagine the man's disbelief at Jesus' command. He had waited so long expecting something to happen in a certain way. But his faith resulted in a different outcome. 38 years of faith only for something to happen in the way he had no way of expecting. And he didn't expect it on this particular day of all days. Our scripture text makes a point to mention it. It was the Sabbath. You weren't supposed to do anything on the Sabbath. You weren't supposed to do any kind of healing. Jesus overturns the specific rules of what direction the day was supposed to go. But he did it anyway. The man believed he could be healed only in the pool. to adopt their 3 grandchildren. Their entire retirement plans had been completely uprooted, completely thrown off by this curveball life had thrown them. They had plans and savings to travel the world, to live comfortably in their older age. But they had to put all that aside to care for their granddaughters now under their care. Of course, they loved spending time with their family, but one could see the exhaustion in their face as they were maybe in their 60s, trying to keep up with a preteen, maybe a 10-year-old, and maybe a 7-year-old, all overnight. They had raised their child and thought that they were done. But life gave them this new, unexpected result, having to be parents once again. And that is how our lives can be as well. We can be preparing for something for 38 years, only to have the rug pulled out from under us. And that is what this man who was healed did. He pulled the rug out from under himself and walked on his way. He could have possibly given up, but now his best days were before him. And our best days can still be there for us as well. Our first scripture text comes before Jesus' soon coming ascension. Not only had the disciples and the faithful lost Jesus once before, but here's Jesus again telling them, I'm going to leave again. You weren't really paying attention the first time, but maybe you'll kind of remember it this time. I'm actually going to leave again. He tells them he will be leaving, and then that his Spirit will be with them to comfort them. And this is the message for us too. We may not have this physical Jesus that we can touch the hem of his robes, but we have the Holy Spirit present with us every day. Even when things in our world can seemingly be filled with chaos, the Holy Spirit is still by our side to comfort us. As everyone else is rushing past us to get into the pool, leaving us in the dust, Jesus may be standing there telling us to take up our mat. As our hearts become more and more troubled, we can be comforted knowing that we are not alone. But we must respond with faith. Faith is the hope of the things unseen. We must believe that better can be coming, or that we can create those things for ourselves. Bad things can happen,